Hi, I'm Mantha Chun. I graduated from Monona State University in 2010 with a cellular molecular biology degree. Right when I graduated, I started at Mayo as working in the lab in the cytopathology and the molecular and atomic pathology lab. And right now I'm currently in the cytogenetics chromosome microarray lab. Um, I have a daughter who is 6 years old. She's in kindergarten right now. And she's just a wonderful, wonderful person to be around with. I don't think that I could have made any better decision than to have her. And
So what was it like when you were in college and found out that your partner was pregnant?
finding out that my partner was pregnant was a big shocker. At first, I didn't know what to do. There was 1,000 questions running through my mind. How am I gonna support this child? How am I gonna finish school? What am I gonna do? How much help am I gonna get? Those were the questions that popped up in my mind at first. Um, and after that, we just started planning. We made the decision to go through with it, to have her, and we started planning. And her mom right now, back then when we decided, it was for me to go to school first, get done with school first, because I was almost done with school. I had 2 years left, and then after I was done, she was to go to school. And right now we're following through with that goal. I think that the best decision you can make is to stay in school for your child. The easy way out is to, go and get a full-time job, minimum wage job, but I mean, you're not gonna have time when your daughter or your son needs more attention than what you have right now.
So in terms of programs like we have at Winona State for young dads, are there particular ways that people that are recruiting for these type of programs, what is the best method of recruitment?
The best method of recruitment, I think, is to have that information out there. I graduated in 2010. This program started in 2011, and I wish that a program started like that in 2007 because I would have joined. I think having that information out to the dads out there, because they're not gonna aggressively seek out that information. They don't have a lot of time to do all these things. So having that information out there with them and at them around the campus, I think would be the best advertising market you could do.
You kind of showed like would have been really interested in joining. What would have drawn you in and had you continue coming to the dad's group?
Well, I think what have kept me coming was the support, the emotional support, the educational support. I think those are the two main important factors in dads being in school, because they need that. They don't have a lot of time. They're always stressed out all the time. They're always thinking about their family. At least I was, anyways. Having that support and having people say, "Hey, you're gonna be all right. You just keep working hard. You keep going to school. Keep doing good." We have the educational support here for you. We have tutors. We have advisors to help you out and guide you through your education. I think having that type of people around you really makes you want to keep going.
When you first were a parent and were in college, what did it feel like walking around campus? I know some students have felt invisible or like they didn't belong.
Being on campus was a totally different feeling after having my child. I see all these kids, having fun, partying, and all that stuff, and in a way, I kind of wanted to feel like that, but I had responsibilities, and my responsibilities were a lot more um, meaningful to me than going out and having fun, because I know that this person that's coming to this new world is depending on me, and for me to have you know a good stable present is the best thing for her when she comes out.
You talked about, in terms of recruitment, just getting the message out there. What would be good ways to get the message out there? Radio ads or hats or promotional materials or posters or having faculty. What's your thought on that? What the best way to recruit?
I think the best way to recruit is electronically. I think, you know, people are always checking their email. Having that resource being sent out maybe once a month, maybe once a week, you might be surprised at the people that actually read their emails about, hey, you know, this email is about dads and I'm a dad, and, you know, maybe this is worthwhile to attend, or maybe I can find something meaningful out of this, you know, group or whatnot. So for me, I check my email constantly. You know, some people might feel shy or embarrassed to go up to like a booth and say, and for dads, and be like, oh, you know, there's the booth for dads, and I'm the only one standing here or whatnot. So having that email or some type of, you know, system like that out there would be beneficial, I think.
And do you think the motivations, what do you think are the motivations to join a group? So if you're recruiting young dads, what would motivate them to keep coming to a group?
Well, like I said, I think the support is the biggest thing that I would come for, because there's not a lot of dads on campus. There's not a lot of person you can talk to. Your parents are not right on campus with you. Your mom and dad, you know, might not be able to give you the best advice or support that they can, because they have their own life. So having someone to mentor you, telling you, hey, you know, you need to be prepared for this. You need to get all these forms filled out. You need to get all this stuff filled out and things like that. I think that would motivate somebody to, you know, really consider joining a group like that.
So if someone was starting a new program on a college campus, what kind of advice would you give to that person starting the group? Lunches, dinners, mix it up, have it just dads only, have a number, you know, content. What's your thought on that?
I think the biggest thing that I would do is to have lunches, because as a dad, you're always broke. And having that type of, you know, meal, a free meal a day, that, or like a week, would totally make someone like me would come, because I struggle a lot with my finances. Having my child, there were days when I couldn't really eat what I wanted because I was trying to save up money to buy diapers or to buy formula milk. So having that extra meal, or, you know, something like that, dinner, some treats or whatnot, I think that would be a good thing to have.
And is there anything about your own story about that decision-making process to become a father, you think would help people better understand how to recruit young fathers for a program?
I guess my situation was different, I guess, because for us, we didn't have the support that, you know, that's out there right now. Looking back at the time when I had my daughter, I guess having, just like I said, I need support. I was always at Student Support Services. I think that if the Student Support Services had a program like this when I was going through it, would have instantly, you know, garnered my attention. So.
Good. If you were training someone to reach out to young fathers, if you were the trainer, what would be the three most important things that you would tell that person on how to have a relationship with that young
Well, the three things I would tell them is, first of all, tell them your story, because they have to be able to relate to you. And the second thing I would tell them is, tell them that, hey, you can make it like I am, because, obviously you made it through that, difficult period of their time of your life, and if you can make it, they can make it as well. The third thing I would tell them is, hey, we have resources here, utilize them. It's to your best interest that you use the resources that are available to you, and not just the resources that we provide, but also, what the state and the government provide as well. So
How important is the content during the lunches?
I think it's very important. The resources that you tell them to go and get, they're going to listen to it, I think, because if they're serious about raising their child, serious about having a good family, they'll follow through with those. So
Anything else you want to talk about? 5 minutes. Anything else you want to talk about in terms of this whole subject area?
I think that the one thing I want to talk about is, don't ever give up, because it's all about your daughter's future now, or your son's future now. It's not about you anymore. I think that when I was in college, I had a very hard time going through school because it was all a new experience for me. I had 2 years left, and I took half a semester for 1 year to really figure out how to balance the time and balance my daughter and to balance, the sleep as well. And, it was really hard for me, but I think that if you keep working hard, keep using the resources that are available to you, you'll make it through. And, no matter how many times you get knocked down, you should always, try to stand up. And even when I graduated, I still had a difficult time because right when I graduated, there was a hiring freeze, and I couldn't get a job for about 7 months. So I was working at Hy-Vee with a bachelor's degree, and that really fueled me to get into Mayo. I think I got rejected like 23 times before I even got one interview, and I made that interview count. And I think that it speaks for itself. No matter how many times you fail, no matter how many times people say no, you can't, keep trying, and you'll make it through. And that's what I did, and that's where I am today. So.
Well, thank you very
Yeah.
much. You got it. So, good morning, Ben. Thanks so much for coming. So can you just introduce yourself and talk about your kids and what your major and how long you've been in school and that kind of thing?
Yeah, my name is Benjamin Njogu. I'm a nursing major. I joined Winona State in 2005, but I stopped for a while because I had this family coming up, and I rejoined last year.
1 second. And I think what I'm gonna do is just stop, make sure we've got it and the sound is working, because wouldn't it be a shame? And continuing with Ben.
Yeah.
So we were talking about you stopped because you had a family coming.
Yeah, I initially stopped because I had a family coming up, and I got my 6-year-old daughter, who was born at 2008, and was a little bit challenging for me. So I ended up putting the school aside so that I can rear my family. But just recently, I heard about the child care center, and that's a big reason why I joined back to Winona State. And technically, it's a good institution that has helped me so far.
Great. So tell me about why you joined the Dads Group.
The Dads Group is one of the most interesting groups I've ever met, so far in school. It gives you a different perspective, viewing yourself as a different student in Winona State. It incorporates you to feel a part of the family that contributes more to your kind of a way of life other than just being a normal student, compared to the other students. And the dads group, it shares so much of the information from engineering majors to all the nursing major and art major. Everybody's there, so it gives you all the idea of bringing the family spirit together, knowing that you're not just left alone being a dad at school.
If universities or schools are recruiting fathers, what types of methods do you think would work the best? And how did you find out about the dads group?
I came to know about the dads group after I brought my daughter to Winona State Daycare, and one of the most interesting things is joining the little group that we had first with Deb and a few parents that were attending the group, and by just the word of mouth telling each other, it was so beneficial. So I ended up joining the rest of the dads, and I was so happy to know that it's just a very warm bunch of group of guys that talk about topics from being a dad to very concrete things about school and their majors.
Great. What do you think motivates dads to continue with the group? You've talked about the sort of emotional connections. Are there any other motivating factors that would keep a dad from continuing?
Yeah, I would talk about, there's so many factors that influence me to keep going on with the dads group, because first they offer this nice lunch that is, you can just eat as much as you can. Nutritional wise, you're healthy. Sometimes it's kind of challenging when you're running up and down to get your kids going back and forth to school, to have just that one moment to sit down, ask questions, release some stress, talk with the people, share something a little bit to it, and that keeps a constant connection, knowing that each and every week during lunchtime or during the time that you have a little break, you can have a snack, or you can just have a little chit chat with these guys that you share the same motives together. So that's one of the main things that that really encourages the dads group.
So let's talk a little bit more about recruitment. What are the best ways that you could imagine as a student that people at the university that were trying to create dads groups, what would be the best methods of recruitment that you would suggest?
I would suggest that maybe coming up with a little clip, or maybe coming up with a word of mouth that, like, just the same way I was told, it is so much beneficial, especially to the people who drop out kids. It is very much beneficial, especially when you know that there's no one out there in the campus that shares the same motive. So word of mouth kind of directs somebody easily to join the dads group. Also, I would think maybe use of flyers or emails that can really help, because mostly we check our emails every day, and that kind of recruitment or that kind of information can be passed out that way, and it will be great.
Great. Do you see a benefit not beyond yourself for your family?
Yeah, the dads group, actually, we talk about challenging things and the big challenges that every student faces during school time and family time, and that is mostly based on time and management of time. And joining this group, we tend to go through these little steps that how we can manage time and how we can cope with stress and how we can talk to each other, and how we would share experiences to see if we have similarities, and how each and every one would share their ways to go around.
Whoops. Stop for a second. So one of the things that we were talking about was the benefit to the family. And you were talking about the importance of bringing the informational knowledge that you gained from the other dads, the experience and that. What about retention? Do you feel that having a dad's group helps students stay in school?
Yeah, definitely, because it gives you a little bit of motivation to know that you're not going to be left alone struggling with books and struggling with your family. So having a dad's group gives you a push to know that you can do it, and it's something that you're being encouraged by the other guys who are attending the same little group as you. Some of them, I would say, they were there before, and some of them are still taking the group, so are still in their programs, finishing the school. So I would say that it gives you the big push to go and finish your education, and makes you feel more comfortable being in class, knowing that you're not left alone. So that group is very beneficial.
Great,
Mhm.
great. Any other last thoughts about recruitment or methods or suggestions for people that want to understand the process of a dad's group?
The only thing that I feel like it's left out, it's just maybe we can encourage the dads when they are together. We can just encourage each other to tell this information to anybody else that hasn't known about the dads group to join in, and feel free and bring their suggestion. Come and see everybody who's joined it, and we'll have more benefits together.
Great.